confusion in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams.
One.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Above the Fold, episode 10. My name is Scott. So we've got a great show for you today. But let's introduce these gents, shall we? So we've got Femi, aka Arrow.
What's
Welcome,
up?
buddy.
Sup.
And we've got Nuns and Moses, also known as Adam.
Hello. How was you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. So this is a bit of an interesting show. We've got some, not necessarily net games news. We've got some other media thrown in there today. So first, I want to talk about Mortal Shell. So the beta was recently made open to the public. So before we delve into the details of that, Femi, I want to know what are your thoughts? What was your takeaway from that, from your experience?
So I haven't finished it yet. Just a slight disclaimer, because I've just been busy with other things, streaming and whatnot. But I did play like an hour and a half, probably because I was dying quite a bit. But from the gameplay that I did actually experience, and actually play myself, it was good. I really liked it. I was a bit like, my only concern going into this was like, one, okay, first of all, how is actually not one but multiple. One, how would it feel to hit stuff? Two, how difficult it's going to be, and then three, what would be the UI in terms of, is it going to be very difficult to understand?
Yeah.
Would it be straight away you just get and get a good feel for it? So it feels good to hit stuff, which is great.
Good.
And then the difficulty is about Dark Souls difficulty, I think. And then the only thing that was a bit interesting was that the items, they don't tell you what they are unless you use them.
Yeah, it's a really strange system. Personally, they're trying something new.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But from what I've played so far, I like it.
Yeah.
I definitely need to finish it for sure, but I am feeling positive about it.
Well, I'm glad you touched on those points, because the points you mentioned, they're not something you can get an understanding from just watching the trailer. Like, I'm glad you mentioned about hitting stuff, because that was my one concern, because that's a make or break it thing for me. So other Souls-like games, it needs to feel good. If it doesn't, like, interacting with things, and I think this game nails it, especially when you use that harden mechanic, because you don't really have a block or anything like that.
No.
And it feels good. Like, it sounds amazing. The sounds are on point. Where in terms of health UI and stuff, they've done something very interesting, which I've not seen this done before. So when you lock on, you got a little dot on their chest, haven't you?
Yeah.
So when you hit them, their health bar becomes a circle around that dot. So it depletes when you hit them. So it's like they want to minimize as much UI elements as possible, and I really appreciate that. And I never noticed that when I watched the trailer. We do have some gameplay. of the new one of the new shells. And I'm just wondering, did you get a chance to check out the new shell, the teal shell?
I have not. I
Have you not?
didn't actually. No, no, no. Like I said, I didn't have a chance to actually play the entire full playthrough, which I'm kind of pissed about now thinking about it again. But no, no, I didn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. Well, they did. I do follow them quite closely. Once I've got my grips onto a game, I don't tend to let any news get past. So, just a few comments that they made is that they're quote unquote, we really didn't want so many people to feel left out. So they made the beta open for everyone starting now, whenever that was. I think that I forget what day it was, but
yeah, I don't remember now.
it
Actually,
was definitely early on the week. But they've come out and said, expect your first playthrough to be between 15 and 20 hours. The beta lets you possess beta lets you possess
Beta.
two mortal shells. That's Haros and Teal. So Haros is the first one you get, which is coolest, and Teal. So I spent, once I discovered Teal, I pretty much spent the entirety of the rest of the demo playing as Teal.
okay.
He he played a little bit differently to Haros. Is essentially a rogue. We've discussed this on a previous podcast, but when he does a dash, he turns to a smoke cloud and he dashes further away. It's got way more stamina, a lot less health. So not only that, but you get access to his hammer and pick.
Yeah.
Now, I only discovered his hammer and pick towards the end of my playthrough because I didn't see it next to the wall, right where you collect him. So, but it's very interesting. In terms of the items you use, there were some items like a poisonous mushroom, and I was thinking, well, why would I use that? Because I used it and I was poisoned. I'm not going to use that again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until afterwards, having talking to some friends about it, that they said, "Oh, you need to keep using it because you'll get resistance to
Resistance to
poison."
it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was kicking myself because I had so much trouble from poison in that game. That was actually a criticism of mine until that point, because there's this certain enemy who's got swords sticking out of him, and if you get his head down to a certain point, he takes his head off. Literally takes his head off and he throws it at you.
Makes sense.
So that does damage, and it also does this poison damage, which lingers for ages.
So they're saying that you've got to eat more poisonous thing or more poison mushrooms to be more immune to that substance. Is that right?
Essentially, yeah. You're building in terms of that item, you're building tolerance to it.
Okay.
But it's not just that. I mean, you can pick up a loot, and the more you find, the more you play, the better you get at these songs, which I didn't realize. And it's a very interesting mechanic. But one thing I didn't know until after I finished the beta, and I'm glad they mentioned this because I was a bit worried about the linearity of this demo. But that area, I think it's this area right here, not that one. It's more like a foresty, closed, open area, but that's actually a lot bigger. They deliberately cordoned off as much as the open marshland of Fulgrim, just to keep you focused for that demo. So I'm glad they mentioned that, but I'm really looking forward to it. Like it felt good.
Is the beta still open?
I don't know if it's still open, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's a time beta, but I don't remember the end date. Might be worth checking out. But
yeah,
I managed to beat the beta. The last boss was, well, I won't ever forget that boss. Put it that way. So Mortal Shell launches proper on the Epic Game Store later this year as a time PC exclusive, priced at £25, which is
That's
reasonable.
not a bad price. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bit more expensive than that, but
It's
is that that's it. That's what put me to a higher price. Is that it does scream AAA, and there's a lot of what's the word? It's being bigged up a lot.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to be a lot
community.
higher. Yeah. So is it $25.99 on all platforms?
$24.99 across PC, PlayStation, Xbox One.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but just remember that this is just a small group of people making this game. It's still essentially an indie game, but
Okay.
obviously the talent is through the roof. The art team, the design team, they've got something going on there. So 25 quid, that's an easy purchase. I don't have to think about it. So yeah, that's that. So I'm glad I played it.
Just quickly, it says a time piece exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So
with Epic Game Store.
with Epic Games. Okay, that's what it meant by that. Okay, that makes sense. Now I was like, wait, what? Okay, that makes sense.
I did watch a live stream they were doing just before they announced it was open. And they said the reason why they went with Epic Game Store is to get that influx of cash to help them keep building the game because it's still not done yet.
Okay.
And I think that's why a lot of people are being drawn to Epic Game Store. So it's working for big, some titles, especially indies, because they're getting that extra bit of cash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, walking away from that, I was very pleased. It took me a while to get used to harden ability. I don't know why there's not a block. It was hard getting used to.
I still understand the parry as well. The parrying doesn't make.
Yeah.
It might just be I just suck at parrying. Maybe I mean I never parried that much in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird one.
Yeah.
I can explain it to you if you want. So when you get
just press that friggin' button.
I wish it was that simple, but there's a lot to it. So you got your little health bar and your stamina bar at the bottom.
Yeah.
There's these little yellow blips almost, and they need to charge, and you charge I think by attacking. So when you've got one blip, that's fine, it'll stay there. But if you're halfway through a blip, it'll go down. So each time you do a count, I think it was left bumper, I believe, but you've got to time it. It's that little rope thing on your back, on your belt.
Yeah.
You use that and essentially flashes them or something, and that's when you're able to do a counter.
Right. Okay.
When that happens, a little dot will appear, like in Sekiro.
Yeah.
To do extra damage. Now, if you max out those bars and you press left bumper and right bumper, you'll do a special.
Okay, gotcha.
So we've seen in gameplay in the past where the massive heavy sword and a little bolt extends at the hilt. So that's what that super is. It does massive damage, and that's how you get health back as well.
All right. Okay.
So it's not just for the super. It's just I think it's every time you manage to pull off a parry. So you've got to be really, really intentional, really careful, because you can waste it.
Yeah, I was watching Mr. Fruit play this, and now I understand what he was trying to do. But yeah, that's I've never played it myself yet.
Well, I would definitely recommend it, but it is a very, very difficult game. That's the guy with the headless dude. That guy caught me out, man. Anyway. So let's move on. We've got a mini segment for you. Demi, I'll let you take this on because you're the one who brought it up.
Yeah, sure. So Marvel Comics have acquired the Alien and Predator franchise. So this happened, I believe, last week, sometime either just before the weekend. So Marvel Comics has acquired the rights to both Alien and Predator, paving the way for a new line of comic sets in this cinema sci-fi universe. Now, quick question for you guys. Do you guys still read comics? Are you guys a big comics fan? Like, do you guys enjoy...
I like comics, yeah.
Yeah?
On occasion. I mean, I haven't read it for a while.
I have bought many, many comics.
Okay.
But buying them and reading them are two different things. I bought special edition comics just for the front covers so I can frame them on my wall. I've got a frame for Spawn.
Okay.
So yes and no.
So it's more of an art for you. Well, I mean, it's an art form, but more of a I want to display because it looks cool.
Initially, I mean, one of my older friends, he's very big into comics, and he kind of influenced me to get a lot of this stuff. So I've got loads of comics. I've got loads of graphic novels. Have I been through them yet? Absolutely not, because I've got a backlog of books. So it is on my list. I don't dislike comics. It's I'd rather use my imagination when reading novels, me personally. But it is a medium I do want to explore at some point.
Okay. Well, I never. I mean, I did read a bit when I was a wee child, but wasn't one of those things that like growing
Many,
up
many
I
years
always
ago.
read. I always read comics and stuff. But nevertheless, so upon this acquisition, the artist David Finch, who I believe is the artist for Marvel Comics, released two teaser posters featuring aliens, xenomorph, aboard the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship and a Predator leaving its mark. So Predator leaving its mark on Avengers HQ. And
Yes,
yeah,
I've never seen
so
that. Oh yeah.
yeah, so again, the report where I actually got this information from goes on to state that the Predator teaser isn't meant to suggest the two franchises will be integrated into the Marvel universe. So don't expect to see maybe Predator in the next Avengers movie or Avengers.
Can you imagine how would that go
Alongside
down?
Iron Man
But
and Spider-Man.
but can you imagine though? We know like when they're like that scene where they start showing each hero one by one. You see Iron Man coming down, landing down, and you see Hulk changing or he's changed, or you see Thor swinging his hammer. Then you see what's the name Black Widow. Then you then see Predator just appear, and you hear like clicky sound, like random head. Like what do you think this would mean for? I guess just thinking ahead now, are we gonna see maybe potentially more maybe new Predator movies along the way, or are we gonna maybe see, or would you guys want to even see a crossover? I know they said this is a T, like it doesn't suggest anything, but would you want to see a crossover if Predator, Alien together with the Marvel heroes, or would this be something that would be like,
no,
it's
just keep them
ridiculous.
separate.
Yeah.
I just for how long it's been, no, I think they should always be kept separate. How dark it could be as well. I don't think Predator and the Marvel universe will mix very well. It's more of a DC. Predator's quite dark. If you've watched the films, it's gruesome, dark. Yeah, I don't think it'll cross very well. I think they'll just tone it down way too much to what the many years of Predator's been built up on, Predator, Alien, that sort of thing. So yeah, for me, please keep it away from the Marvel universe.
Yeah, but again, I'm just trying to imagine Predator hunting Hulk or Predator or Alien just appearing randomly in, I don't know, Spider-Man. It's like something ridiculous like
Instead
that.
Instead of cutting Thor's hand off, it blows his head off with
exactly.
Predator's cannon. Yeah.
it just suggests, I mean, in my mind, it leaves so much of imagination, and it's I mean, again, like I said, I don't really read that much comics, but this acquisition opens a lot of opportunities for Marvel Comics to explore, I guess, start maybe bringing out more comics with these two franchises. So and
I think there'd be a lot of spur. So I think it'll spur a few people on in regards to fan art and stuff like that. That'd be quite interesting to see. We'll be honest, fan art.
Considering the two teaser posters that were released, I think a lot of fan arts would definitely be out there spewing. So I'm interested to see what comes about. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it's something that I thought was really interesting, and see maybe perhaps there might be a crossover in the future. But yeah, interesting bits of news.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this isn't the first time we've seen these kind of crossovers happen in the comic fandom area, because I mean, when was it? I think it was a few years ago that I can't remember who joined who, but there was a collaboration between the Ninja Turtles and Batman. And one of the wrestlers, one of these famous wrestlers, I forget his name, he joined. No, he's a newer one than that. He joined. He's a movie star now. I forget his name.
The Rock.
But he joined the. No,
John Cena.
The Rock. John Cena. Thank you. He joined the Scooby Doo cartoon for a movie.
Did he?
So yeah. So these aren't. This isn't new. Oh. I mean, is it cool? Absolutely. The Predator franchise has had its ups and downs. I hope we get a new movie. And I hope they give it enough attention it deserves, because the last I don't know if you guys saw the last movie, but it wasn't good.
No,
was it?
It was
I can't remember what it's
horrendous.
called. It was forgettable, honestly. It boiled down to a kid with special needs being the target of this alien from
Oh,
the predators,
really?
wanting him for yeah. Essentially, I pretty much boils it down. Um, it's got some good actors in there, but it's just the writing was terrible, absolutely terrible. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely interesting. Um, I did look at some of the images from this link you sent, and I saw for the Predator, he was holding Iron Man's head. I thought, ooh,
Yeah.
that's actually a pretty striking shot on the in the
Wow.
Avengers Tower. And so I thought, yeah, I might check those out because I'm a big fan of obviously Iron Man. I'm a big fan of the Avengers and Predator. Um, so I'm glad you actually brought this up because I don't think I would have found this otherwise.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this would trigger. Having this acquisition and this franchise on the Marvel Comics, perhaps that would then trigger to something to Marvel Studios, who would then maybe make a movie. Like you mentioned, it seems like they need a lot of TLC with those two franchises. So,
But
given how,
Marvel are doing a lot of spin-off films, and they plan to be doing spin-off films
yeah,
because they've already announced a lot. Um, um, so who knows? I mean, I would absolutely love a spin-off. I mean, even what Star Wars doing right now? Star Wars had a spin-off book, I believe, a novel where these clone troopers were stuck on a ship, and
hmm
it ended up being they mixed it with zombies. So it was like a one-off, just
oh
a bit of
God,
fun. It ended up being really good, and it spawned a lot of it spawned its own little cult following. So
okay,
who knows? I'm open to anything
Mm.
with the two franchises.
okay, fair enough. All right.
So yeah, moving on. We've so randomly out of nowhere, or actually maybe not. Fallout. I'll explain that in a sec. Fallout is getting a TV show. Not long after they announced that, Fallout 76 came to Game Pass. So whether that was, a coincidence or not, I don't know. But
hmm
it's coming to Amazon Prime Video. It's been made by the production company behind Westworld,
Mm.
um, and the Person of Interest. So that's Kilter Films. Obviously, the production value of this studio is through the roof. So I can't imagine what that kind of film would look like. I mean, I do. There's a little bit of irony in this. Amazon being one of the biggest companies in the world, and Fallout. The story behind Fallout is that capitalism has risen so high that it kind of brought the end of the world. So you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's
It's a
something
bit of
there.
a
Yeah. So I mean, the Twitter account broke the news, about the collaboration. It's basically between Kilter Studios and Bethesda Game Studios, essentially. Of course, Amazon. So it's all those three in the pot. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really got much to go. We had a small little teaser. Um, just a quick question to you guys before we
yeah.
move on. Femi, you first. Does this interest you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I have played Fallout, so I like the premise of it and a TV show, wasteland style, going around this apocalyptic post era. Yeah, I like the idea of it. Now, I hope it's not going to be sort of like the Walking Dead type of thing because then it's like just watching another Walking Dead. I hope they have a like. I hope I will see the suits,
Mm.
the random people you meet along the way. Now, would
Mm.
it be slow down when you take shots?
On bats.
Bats,
That'd be
yeah.
funny.
So I hope they really bring a lot of the elements, the soul of the game into the TV show. And if they do that, then yeah, I'm definitely down for it. But if it's just going to be another Walking Dead or another post-apocalyptic type TV show, then again, my taste buds for that are this small.
Yeah.
I'm slowly losing interest in it. So yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because um, they have free reign essentially. Walking Dead is based on a comic series, a graphic novel. So Fallout I mean, Kilter Studios have free range to do whatever they want, whatever story they want. So with Fallout, there's always that serious nature, and there's always been that little bit of humor, which is present in most of the games. So what about you, Adam? Does this
I'm going to be totally honest with you, I'm just
you?
going to echo what Femi said there. I hope, but in one thing, I hope they bring dog meat. Remember dog meat from Fallout? I really do hope they bring that that dog in. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see with all the characters and all the suit, how they reimagine the suit. But yeah, just that whole world post-apocalyptic event. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm really, really interested in this, to be honest with you. Really interested.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see more as soon as possible, because I want to get an idea of what to expect. Because there's a lot of great characters in that franchise. We've got Detective Valentine. You mentioned Dogmeat. So yeah, there's the Brotherhood of Steel as well. So there's a lot of lore there for them to dig into. So yeah. So let's move on, gents. We've got the main segment. So there's a lot of information here, so I'll quickly just run down what we've got, and I'll jump in and ask you guys what you think of this. So Xbox reportedly interested in acquiring Warner Brothers Interactive, the game studios. So these studios are also being sought after by EA, Activision, Take-Two as potential buyers. So. This is following news that the parent company AT&T is looking into possibly selling the video games arm of Warner Brothers. The sale apparently is not yet imminent, so when this goes down, we'll definitely bring it up. Excuse me. So whoever acquires the Warner Brothers Interactive will likely purchase studios like Avalanche Software. So Avalanche are the guys behind not the recent Just Cause games, it's the Disney Infinity game studio. So a smaller studio. We got Monolith Productions.
Yeah,
they created the Fear franchise, the Lord of the Ring Middle Earth games like Wolf of Mordor, NetherRealm Studios, who this is if Microsoft get this is a big get just for NetherRealm Studios alone. Now, not only that, Rocksteady Studios, we all know what they've been up to, because we mentioned it previously. They're looking into a Suicide Squad game. TT Games. Now, this is the Lego studio. These guys have built all the Lego games. And obviously, Warner Brothers Montreal is apparently working on that Batman game. So, what's interesting about this is that, let's say one of these companies buys Warner Brothers Interactive, they will have to negotiate the licenses separate. They don't get the licenses like what's it, like Batman. They can't get Batman. They'd have to renegotiate a license for that. So these are essentially purchasing the studio. It's everything involved in the studio, even down to the assets, to the systems, the AI, whatever engine they're currently using, except for the licenses.
Right.
Wow. So what this means for, I think it won't be imminent. There's a reason why they said imminent, because some of these studios are still working on some of these franchises. Like there's a Batman franchise still being worked on. There's that rumored Harry Potter game being worked on.
Yeah.
So, if Microsoft hasn't stopped buying studios, and an earlier article I read this week is that they're not slowing down. Now, out of all these studios, so I'll ask you first then, Femi. We've got EA, Activision, Take-Two, and Xbox. Which studio would you rather purchase WB Interactive?
Just before I answer that, Sony is included in one of the potential suitors for this, no?
No.
They're not?
Huh. Well, I don't think they can afford it, to be honest. It's valued at $4 billion.
Okay.
Now, that's a lot of money. I mean, Microsoft, that's chump change to them. and so is the rest of them. But no, as it stands right now, Sony has not expressed any interest.
Interesting. Huh. So I think if I look at how EA has done business now, people might say maybe not EA because they're gonna monetize the shit out of everything they put out there.
Yeah.
If I get to play Mortal Kombat, I'll have to probably pay to play Scorpion or something like that. I don't know, or something ridiculous. So I would say any company that actually, I probably would say Microsoft because from what they've done so far, they've Scott's like that is the right answer.
Yeah, that is my right answer.
There's only one answer. I would say Microsoft because of how okay, looking at all the games they put out, there hasn't been any sort of controversy of how they develop games or market games or how you have to play set games. So I would feel comfortable if Microsoft takes it and runs with it. So that's where I would say my answer lies on.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
The reason why I'm agreeing with you there is because out of all of these studios, Microsoft is pro-consumer. Look at how they've handled Minecraft. They bought that franchise. Did they pull it from the other platforms? No, they didn't. Now, the reason why I think Xbox should buy it is because they'll bring it to PC. That's whether they may not bring future games to PlayStation, but I don't know. I mean, they brought Ori to the Switch. This company has proved that they're more interested in software than hardware and exclusives. So out of those, Take-Two, guys behind GTA, I don't want their mitts anywhere near it. Not with the conversation we had last week about NBA and the price tag of being at $70.
Yeah.
I think that they are a money-making studio. I mean, they all are, but I think Xbox would be my preference. But what about you, Adam? Where do you fall with this? There's obviously pros and cons.
I mean, it's the first time I've actually heard about this, all honesty. Again, I feel like I'm just repeating what everybody else is saying, but I'm a big Microsoft fan. Like you said, Scott, is that what they've done with Minecraft, the pro consumer. So if Microsoft gets that in their hands, they'll do a hell of a lot more than what other people will just say buy that, and just kind of keep it for themselves, just trickle away, get some money out of it. They'll not expand it. They'll not help the consumers, basically. But yeah. Exactly the same as used to.
Let me just quickly jump in so I'm only going by what EA has done in terms of their practices. Now I don't know about Activision. I don't know about Activision and Take-Two. I haven't said anything that made me feel like, oh no, maybe not. I'm only going by what I know, like the information I have. Now, if it goes to Take-Two, Activision, it's fine. And I don't know anything to say, no, it shouldn't go. What I do know about what EA has done over the past make me say I wouldn't be as comfortable with if EA should acquire this studio as opposed to I would prefer if Microsoft does. So that's why I wanted to just quickly mention. I'm not throwing shade at the other two, just I don't have enough information to say either or. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to take away from it because we've seen how these companies have reacted this generation, and there's been a lot of criticism regarding. I mean, GTA is full of full of money grabbing transactions. EA is just as bad with their FIFA. Take-Two with their NBA, and I don't go into the details with Activision, but I personally want Xbox to have this because this will bolster their first party considerably. I mean, even with... Sorry, no, go on.
Do you think they would actually make MK, the Batman games, Lego games, an Xbox Microsoft exclusive?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because
they're not stupid enough to do that.
Okay.
There's a reason why they didn't take Minecraft away, because Now, if it was Sony, I would say yes, absolutely, they would do that. But this, from Microsoft actions, their actions, they have been so pro-consumer, and they have expressed interest in the software, not exclusives. They have Phil Spencer's come out and said we're not interested in exclusives at all. Like they have their first party titles, but they won't pay for first party exclusivity like Sony does. So but I mean, just going back to my point, Mortal Kombat, Batman, Harry Potter, those are some big names. I mean, Microsoft can certainly afford to acquire those licenses, and I think they would, because that's this. I mean, then again, Rocksteady has been making Batman games since Arkham Asylum.
They've started
TT
making
Games.
games,
Yeah, TT Games make Lego games. They've not really evolved. It might even give them an opportunity, and I didn't think of this, but might give them an opportunity to do other things besides Batman or whatever games they've been pigeonholed into. I mean, Warner Brothers Montreal has always been a backup studio. They did the Arkham Origins game, if I remember correctly. So there's a lot here, and I hope Microsoft steps up to put the money down and acquire this studio, because that's good for all gamers, to be honest. Out of all of them, I think they are the better choice, personally.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. I mean, the reason behind AT&T wanting to sell is that they purchased Time Warner for 109 billion in 2018, which resulted in large debt. Go figure.
Ouch.
Investors are calling on telecommunications company to sell the non-core assets such as DirecTV and Warner Brother Interactive. So that's the reason behind it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
A studios of this caliber, they don't go on the market very often. And I think Microsoft should pay whatever they're asking for, because these are top quality studios. They will make top quality games that Xbox sorely needs right now.
Yeah.
So
Fingers
that's that.
crossed.
I mean,
I guess, sorry, just wanted to quickly. I guess
Yeah, go
again,
for
I'm just thinking, okay, we're seeing a lot of studios being purchased by or acquired by Microsoft. Now this one doesn't suggest immediately that, because the games that they make, Rocksteady and NetherRealm, they all make games that are cross-platform. So I don't expect any immediate exclusives coming out to the Microsoft ecosystem. But that is not to say that down the line, it might, again, like you mentioned, it might maybe lead to an opportunity for a first-party game. So I'm just again, this is great, but it doesn't immediately answer my long burning question as to, okay, all the studios that you're getting, I hope is going to actually bolster the first party concern that a lot of people have. This is great. It doesn't directly solve that issue. That's something I just wanted to just mention.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, let's not forget, we spoke about the price going up to $70 last week. If Xbox buys the studios, their games will be going straight to Game Pass, or eventually on Game Pass. That works out for everybody, absolutely everybody, console, PC. I mean, obviously PlayStation doesn't have that, so maybe not everybody. But again, it would encourage a lot more people to join the Xbox ecosystem. So there's that to think about as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. There's a lot to think about. But let's move on. Not all day. So the next segment, and this is the last segment, a bit of a short one this week. We did spend a lot of time on the main segment, but Ready Player 2 novel was announced. So this is in here because I put it in here because I want to talk about it because I love Ready Player 1. Have you guys seen Ready Player One movie, or you read the novel?
Yeah, I've seen the movie,
Adam?
And I loved it.
Yeah?
Honestly, I really enjoyed the movie Ready Player One. I like the whole.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still think this day that half of that stuff in that movie will be coming to real life sooner rather than later, hasn't it? With the VR
advancing
features,
VR.
yeah, and the mats. There's some stuff already out there, aren't they? Where you've got them running mats where you're in like a circle with your VR headset on, and you can feel like you're actually in the game.
Omnidirectional.
Yeah, omnidirectional mats. Yeah, but yeah, but the novel is, yeah, I'm not a very big on words, and so that's because I don't read a lot. So, but yeah, I'm interested in Ready Player 2.
So, having read I've read the novel 3 times. I've listened to the audiobook. I've watched the film. Now, there is a big difference between. I say a big difference. There is a difference between the book and the film. The film, they've modernized it. All lots of new games. The core story still remains the same. They've reorganized things a little bit. Um, like you've got all these modern characters, you've got all the Overwatch, you've got Mortal Kombat, you've got Halo, Master Chief, and all that. Even Chucky, he's in the film. But the book relied on video games from the 80s and early 90s, and that's a. I'm not saying I'm an expert now, but that filled in a lot of gaps for me. Like, I don't know what this game is. I'll check it out. This chapter made more sense to me. Now, guys, if you were ever to read it, it's going to have to be Ready Player One, because Ernest Cline, he knows. He knows. He's a core gamer. He's been gaming for many years. So, Femi, I'll throw the same question to you, mate. Have you watched the film at all?
I have. Fantastic movie. I saw Tracer in it, so I was happy. Overwatch, that was great. No, I'm actually hoping that the next one they do, I'm curious to see what other game / pop culture they put into. Will we see Dark Souls?
Man.
Will you
Mortal
just see,
Shell.
will you see more? I could probably see like maybe depending on when it comes out, maybe something like Cyberpunk being in there, or
Yes, that's
I can imagine. But no, I like this. I didn't even know this was actually coming out till I saw it just now. So this was actually a very good surprise for today. So I'm pumped. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
So just jumping back onto that then. So Ready Player 2 novel announced. It was so random. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know where it originated from. I scrolled past it. I thought, oh, that's cool. And I realized what I just saw. So it was a double take. But the sequel's being called Ready Player 2. Great name. It's an Clive sequel to the best-selling Ready Player One novel, and it will be published by Penguin Random House imprint Ballantine Books. Holy crap, that's a name. So it will be out November 24th. I pre-ordered that bad lad there and then. Like, I didn't even hesitate.
Wow.
So speaking personally, I hope they keep the trend going. They keep the book to a more older generation, and they make the movie more modern. So they are essentially, they have an opportunity to meet both audiences' expectations. So I mean, the sequel, the movie, the original book came out in 2011. I don't think I read it till 2016. It's a fantastic film. Fantastic book. It's basically set in a near future dystopia where people's escape the chaos of the real world with an expansive virtual experience. Just like Adam touched upon a few minutes ago. You essentially put on a VR headset and you leave everything behind. It's a whole new world. You have your whole new persona. So, I mean, if anyone hasn't watched it, definitely go watch it. That film actually was my first 4K purchase, 4K Blu-ray purchase.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't provide any details on the sequel's plots. So you guys have seen, the ending. The two main characters, the two main characters get together. So I'm hoping it'll just revolve around those two. Whether it's going to be that or a whole new set of people, I don't know. I hope not, because they've already established these characters and they did such a grand job doing that. So the film, going back to the Play One film, it was adapted by Steven Spielberg himself. One of the many films where I've watched the entire behind the scenes, and he's very, very hands on, and it's all in a green room. And when the film ended, I remember reading an article about how Steven Spielberg loved the franchise so much that he has asked to help out, essentially, or provide some notes. I'm a bit foggy on the details with the book, so I've always known the book was coming. I just didn't expect it to be anytime like this year. It's amazing. So obviously, Ernest Cline's been a bit busy.
Yes, a bit.
And obviously the movie came out 2018. It took in $580 million worldwide. So
Pocket change.
it's a no-brainer that they were going to make a sequel. So yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to probably be a few years, maybe 7 years after the book. The film gets done. Who knows? But as long as Steven Spielberg studio is behind it, I'm quite confident I've got something decent to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Right, so let's move on then. Fame, I'm going to pass this on to you because you've got a little segment you want to mention.
Yeah. So just real quick, because while I was streaming, was it yesterday actually on my Divinity stream, we were having a conversation regarding the PS5 and Xbox, like which platform are people going to buy. So I was having this conversation with one of the guys that I was playing with, and I was saying that what's the point of me getting an Xbox if I can play the same game that's available on Xbox on PC? And so I'd rather just get a PS5 because I know that the games they release on PS5, they're going to be exclusive to that platform, which I understood. So when I told them like I'm going to get an Xbox, the next gen Xbox, because I have friends that will get it. I want to also be able to play with them because maybe they might not have PC or whatnot, or maybe they just prefer playing certain games on consoles. So this was something that I thought that I bring to you guys, that I understand the whole ecosystem and what Microsoft's trying to do, but do you think having it that you can play, and again, I don't know with certainty, I might not have enough information, but I don't know if, assuming if you can play all the games on Xbox, all the first party games on Xbox, you can also play on PC. Do you think this potentially, might be a double-edged sword for Microsoft in terms of their hardware sales for the Xbox console? Because if I have a PC that has all the specs to play this, why should I then buy an Xbox as opposed to maybe get a PS5 because I know that that's the only way I can play this game, whereas I can play the other games on my PC. So just quickly, what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's not an issue, or do you think it might be something?
I mean, it's always nice. I mean, there's always been a scenario where you can get quite a lot of games that are coming out on Xbox that you can get them on PC. There's always been that sort of background. So when it comes to, it's always better than Microsoft releasing all these brand new titles on both platforms. So yes, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, but the Xbox community are console driven, and I think they'll start to us where we have on PC because we've got streaming. We've played a lot of other games. It is hard. It is a good question. A very good question. For me, my answer, I am still going to get an Xbox, no matter what. I have got a PC which will play all games coming up in the next few years. So will the Xbox. I'm always going to get an Xbox. But I think it'll not harm Microsoft very much. I think it's just boost them because they've got that market. They've got a massive market. Yes, they'll lose a few customers on Xbox, but they'll also gain a few customers on PC where, I want to upgrade the PC. Yes, Microsoft's not going to get all that money from the hardware and the PC, but the games is where they're going to make the money. The consoles, they don't make much money off them anyway, I've heard. It's just the games that they'll make the money on. Again, that's why all these studios that Microsoft are grabbing left, right, and centre. They're going to make them a hell of a lot more money than the console. The console is there just for these these studios to make games for a lot more people than just PC. I mean, so that's my thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna echo that the same way, because there is no money in consoles. They've said that. They've said it for years. That's why there's no competition, regular competition, because there's no money there. The money has always been in the software. Now, just going back to your original question, why should anyone get an Xbox? And I think there's a few answers there. There's a certain type of person that would get an Xbox over a PC, and I would consider these people just casuals.
Yeah, yeah.
These are the people who they probably, they work, they want to come home, they want to press two buttons, want to be in a game. They don't want to have to. Now with PC gaming, there's a lot of intricacies, like booting up Borderlands 3 yesterday. I have to go through some settings. I have to tweak a lot of shit. And when things go wrong, like I had a problem with Dark Souls 3. So my screen resolution is different to how I have the game because of my screen's too big. So because of that, the game decided to only show me a quarter of it on my screen. So then I had to go into the Steam OS to configure the dimensions. Now, there's a lot of bullshit involved with PC gaming, but it's only for a group. I wouldn't say a minority, because it's not a minority, because it's a big group of people. But when it comes to Xbox, there's people. It just works. You plug in, you play.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it's got suspending. It's designed for playing video games, watching movies. It's that. I mean, Microsoft don't care whether you buy a console; they care whether you buy their games.
Yeah, very true.
They want you in their ecosystem, and which is why this generation they've put so much effort into the PC ecosystem with their Xbox beta, their Game Pass on PC.
So xCloud, that sort of
That's
thing.
getting even xCloud. Yeah, thanks for mentioning xCloud. I mean, they're trying to. They're making it more accessible for everybody. So when someone asks me or you, why would I get an Xbox? It's because I've built up a community there.
Yeah.
I've got friends who I met over Xbox. I've got games which I've purchased which have carried over since the early Xbox 360 days. I don't want to lose all that. That's where my money is. That's where my catalog is. I am not going to move over to Sony solely, just Sony, and just forget all that.
Plus the controller. I couldn't move the controller.
Yeah, we've spoken about this before, but yeah, I can't get on with PlayStation Pad. But I think for me personally, I will be getting both consoles. It's just a matter of what I'm getting first.
That's true.
I mean, there's no rush on getting the Series X. But saying that, I wasn't that impressed with Sony's launch lineup. I mean, I'm still a bit pissed off about that whole Miles Morales business, where if you can only play the expansion of the first game if you buy the console. So there's a lot of negativity around it, but I've always been an Xbox guy. I've always preferred that ecosystem. I know how it works. I'm more into the industry on that side of things than I am with Sony. And obviously that's where my friends are. That's where my games are.
Yeah.
I guess again, just to those that are watching, this is a disclaimer that these guys don't know this question was coming, so they're literally giving me off the cuff answer right now. So we didn't have a conversation about this. Usually we have a brief of everything we're going to discuss about. What this one is straight up while we're actually doing the show. I was like, guys, I'm going to steal a few minutes just to bring this up. So for me, it's because I've always I've never been I've had a PS. Right? Then I've had a Xbox 360. Now I have an Xbox One. So I've never had I'm in this ecosystem or that. I just
a quick question there, Femi, for you. On that bit there, you've built up a big friend list on Xbox more than PlayStation. Is that right? Have you? Is that not pulling you towards the Xbox more? The friends, Femi.
Yeah. So like I said, I was to get an Xbox because like you mentioned, I do have you guys and other people that I play with as well. But even just for me, because lately for me, the only time I turn on my Xbox because I want to play either Overwatch or Apex. I have both games on PC, but I
Yeah.
also like using the controller. But
But
when I want
streaming,
to,
let's be honest, streaming has a lot to do with that because since you started streaming, and now not everyone streams, that's taken up a lot of your time. Now, if you weren't streaming, you might be using your console a bit more. Well, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
so that's actually a fair point. Now, with this streaming, also made me realize that I prefer actually playing my single player games on PC. So
Wow.
all the
Okay.
games that maybe I could have bought on. Sorry, go on.
No,
Adam.
no. So I just said wow because I'm surprised you like playing single player games on PC rather than
Streaming.
Xbox because that's actually very true. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because if I wasn't streaming, maybe I would never have realized that I actually prefer playing my single players on. So that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
just a little caveat. I'm not saying that I've always wanted to play. No, because that's how it happened. Because I'm streaming and I've less. Man, I actually like playing it that way. But again, I'm not trying to say I'm gonna ditch my Xbox because I can now play all my games on PC. I'm gonna get it either way. But this was just a question that came about for people that do have a PC that's have a really good PC and they're thinking, okay, why should I bother buying an Xbox when I can just play the said game on my PC?
I mean, let's be honest now.
Yeah.
This generation, they're closing the gap considerably between the consoles and the PC. 4K gaming, 60 frames per second. That's one of the biggest jumps. So for a while, for a long time, it's going to be hard. I mean, there used to be like, oh, why are you playing Destiny on Xbox? It's 30 frames per second. Why not jump over to PC? But now that's not a thing. You won't have to worry about that because I'm expecting the gap to be minuscule now. I mean, of course they'll come out with GPUs which are going to be insanely pretty, but the game industry has always focused on the console because that's where most of the casual gamers are. That's where they make most of their money. That's not opinion. That is facts. Whether we like it or not, the prices vary considerably on PC with all these CD keys. Less market for that on console. Because people will just go to the store and just buy it, or go to the digital store and buy it there. But I think that's something to take into consideration as well. Like I'm getting this sound really strange, but I'm getting Cyberpunk 27 on the Series X because I want to see what that thing can do. That, and with the price going up, I game share, so I'll be paying less. I'll be paying half price, which has made us, well, me and it's Badge, previous guests, we go halves. So because of that, we don't mind spending a little bit more to get the extra edition. Like we've been doing it with all the Assassin's Creeds. We go for the Super Ultra edition, comes the season pass, and we still pay a hell of a lot less than full price.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know PC has a similar experience, similar system going on, but I'm not enveloped into that community. Like if you look at my Steam profile, I've got a lot of games, but do I spend much time faffing about with it? No, because I don't care about the ecosystem. I care about my Xbox. I can see I might use my game bar, what my friends are up to across all their devices. I like knowing if I want to play a certain game, I can just LFG it. Like I used an LFG system yesterday through Discord. Now this is one of the perks of gaming on PC rather than console. You don't really have Microsoft come close with their LFG system. Sony has not even bothered to go in that area.
Yeah.
So both there's pros and cons either way. I really, just off topic, I hope they bring Discord to console just to marry everything up together.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I would love that. That's, for me, that would be great. But
there is kind of apps out there to workarounds, but they don't work very well. But there is stuff out there. That's just
it. And the whole point of console is to not faff about.
Yeah.
You just do what you want to do. You play with your
casual
friends.
for a reason.
Like, yeah. I mean, we're not casual. We are. I'd say we're hardcore gamers. We spend thousands on PCs and our setups. So it's a trick question. It's a good question, but it's one that does require an explanation because it's not a simple question to answer, and it doesn't apply to everybody. No. I mean, yeah, you can probably play a lot of games just by having a PC and a PlayStation. Xbox don't care. welcome to the ecosystem. That's all they're saying. If you buy their games, their Game Pass is an absolute freaking steal.
Yeah.
So Microsoft don't care as long as they're in their ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean it's the
No,
same.
like I said,
I said the same. I mean, there's a lot of perks of the Xbox. Just what I put more out there is where on a PC you've got to concentrate on other things, just little things like you've got to get antivirus, that sort of thing. Where console, it's console system. You don't have to worry about anything like that at all. But yeah, like I've echo what Scott says. It built a friendship up through a load of Xbox guys. All they want to do coming from work. Consoles sitting underneath the TV because 9 times out of 10 it's attached to a 4K TV. And another thing as well, yes, they have closed the gap with PC. PC is and always will be one step ahead because how often Xboxes and consoles come out. But then now it's hit a point where 4K gaming is on Xbox. 4K, there's not. I don't know anybody who's got an 8K monitor, and to output 8K content at the moment for a PC, you're spending stupid money. So yes,
it's not worth
the console. Yeah,
exactly. I've got a 4K monitor, and I very rarely utilize it because there is the DLSS 2.0, which will make performance much better, but
for ray tracing.
Not many people.
Exactly. It's very, very hard to output constant 4K. You can't output constant 8K. I don't think any games have 8K at the moment. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. It's really hard. And
Minecraft. Probably.
Yeah, you're right. Basic question: why would you get an Xbox when you've got a PC, a high-end PC? For me personally, it all comes down to friends. I have a hell of a lot of friends on Xbox who I want to keep in touch with, and I don't think they would go down the route of PC. If they do, fantastic. It's another string to the bow, So yeah, that's my answer.
I mean, I will make one more final comment. I mean, the console is in the living room for a reason, isn't it? It's not behind a desk. It's more accessible for people.
Mine is.
if you have people come over, they won't want to gather on your PC to play a co-op game. Imagine playing co-op on a Cuphead on your desk. It's just not a thing. Really, nobody does it. I mean, local multiplayer is getting bigger and bigger. Halo. I mean, you guys remember what happened with Halo 4 when they took it out? That sparked a lot of discussion, a lot of aggression towards Bungie. 343. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's a casual machine. That's why people buy consoles. Why majority of the people buy consoles.
Fair enough.
So
Well,
Good segment, Femi. Good segment.
Question.
I just thought again, this was more of just to get you guys' take on that, and from your own opinion and thoughts, try to sort of give your own answers to that question. Yeah. So that's fair.
It's cool. It's something that does require an explanation. It's not a simple answer to that question, unfortunately. So,
not for us.
Not right now. I mean, PlayStation, they could say, exclusives, but it's just two big companies going in different directions, really. So yeah, I mean, thanks for that, Femi. So Adam, this is your time to shine, mate. I'll leave this segment to you.
Yeah, not much this week, I'm afraid. But some notable stories this week is Halo 3 will be released on PC on July the 14th as part of the Master Chief Collection. So PC players will be able to buy Halo 3 on the Microsoft Store through Steam. And it'll be available for free as part of the Xbox Game Pass for PC subscriptions. Fallout 76 is now available on Game Pass, which I might check that out myself. We discussed this the other day.
I believe we said.
So
I was going to say, go on.
Be very careful with that. When you download it, make sure it's saved to the same hard drive where your operating system is.
Really?
It's a weird one, I know, because it wouldn't let me boot it up. It came up with an error code saying that your profile does not allow. So I googled it. The first thing I tried, it worked, and all I had to do is move it to my main hard drive and where the operating system, and it works.
So you just run it as an administrator or something.
No, I know exactly why. I'll discuss this later on. It's something It's
Okay.
something to do with Windows, and you've got to install your profile. Basically, you can't just have an empty hard drive sitting there on your PC. Windows is actually, with all the account based stuff, is you've actually got to physically go, right, okay, I want my account now on this hard drive. It'll tie your username and password to your physical hard drive, and that's when you can start installing games, because the games will look at that hard drive going, well, it shouldn't be there. And long story short, yeah, got to have your account on there. Anyways, so moving on. Super hot Mind Control Delete coming next week. Right? Free if you bought the original.
Yeah, free if you bought the original game.
Okay, well, yeah.
So this is essentially a spin-off. This was literally a last-minute reveal, which I thought quite interesting. They did release a trailer. Don't really know much about it. It's just a small trailer.
Have a
But
look at that.
annoyingly, if you bought the VR edition or had it through Game Pass, then you don't get this. You don't get it for free. You've got to buy it again, which I will buy.
I can't remember if I
because
bought the original Super
I
Hot.
want it on VR.
I don't remember if I did do that. I have got it in VR. I can't remember how I purchased that, but I'll have a look, because I wouldn't mind checking that out. I really enjoyed the original.
Absolutely. Annoyingly, though, if you bought it on VR, you don't have access to the free version. There was a lot of conditions involved there, but
Right.
I thought it was newsworthy, because the Super Hot was a fantastic game. It had has some very interesting mechanics, especially in VR.
Yeah. So Far Cry 6 leak, release date of 18th of February 2021. God, I'm not even going to pronounce his name, but the villain in Breaking Bad,
Esposito.
Sorry, say that again.
Giancarlo Esposito.
As the villain from Breaking Bad, he is now in there. Thank you very much for that, Femi. And free with Epic Game Store now until the 16th of this month. Is that right? There is Killing Floor 2, Lifeless Planet Premier Edition, The Escapist 2 plus free add-on, and The Cycle Rogue Start Pack. Ah, The Cycle, that looks quite good. The Cycle.
We've played that.
Yeah. Oh well, brilliant.
Is that out now for release then?
It's free to play multiplayer FPS with a unique mix of PvP and PvE. Sorry, what was that?
Yes. To answer your question for me,
I was going to say it was out for full release.
Free.
It's out. I mean, I don't know if Cycle is a free release. I think when we played it, it was still in early access.
I think it was,
games of this nature tend to keep evolving anyway. So yeah, I mean, there's some good games there. Killing Floor 2, we've played. It's a nice mindless shoot 'em up. Escapist 2, I've not had much time with, but I do own it. Weirdly enough, through the game share program, because
I like the other prison simulators. I wasn't that keen on the Escapist. But yeah, I mean, the Cycle is probably something I'm going to check out more than the Escapist, because that's got that was quite good with team-based game. I quite like that.
Yeah,
well, we had a lot of fun with it. Me and Femi did, and I don't know why we didn't go back to it. I think we just forgot it existed.
Very likely that's what happened.
Flew under the radar
because
for quite a bit.
A lot of things happen.
Yeah,
it's reminded me that I need to get that reinstalled, because in fact I still have it installed. So yeah, I mean, let's wrap up, shall we? Adam, what are you currently playing? Is it? I think we know.
I think you already know
this.
What
we think it is?
It is Mario, Super Mario.
Nice.
It is. Escape from Tarkov, but again, I'm also watching Ozark, which I cannot recommend enough. Ozark on Netflix is an absolute fantastic TV show. So you can check that out. I recommend that.
Fantastic. And where can people find you?
Well, people can find me at twitch.tv/nunsandmoses and on Twitter at nunsandmoses_live.
Fantastic. So what about you then, Femi? You play a lot of different games, streaming and off streaming. What have you been up to besides?
Besides streaming, I've been rewatching The Wire. So I'm currently on season 2. I was actually gonna put out a tweet regarding that. It's that fantastic show, but I don't think it would have made it out of what you call it. It would have been quite hard for it to come out now in this current time we live in because of a lot of the language in it. So, but still, great show. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen The Wire, I cannot recommend it anymore. It's stupidly good. And then what else again? Catching up with some animes. Tower of God, I finished that. Then High School of something. High School of God. God of High School. God of High School.
Oh yeah, that's out now, isn't it?
That's out now, but I'm desperately trying not to watch it because I want everything to come out. Otherwise, I'm gonna be very, very sad to like watch each one and wait for like another week. Also, I realized that ReZero season 2 is out as well. In case you didn't
Yes,
know.
it started. I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will potentially be checking that out as well. So yeah, and besides that, just streaming again as usual.
So, what game are you playing? Any games offline? I mean, at the moment you're streaming Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro. I think we are going to finish that this week. We're pretty much at the final. I'm fighting Demon of Hatred, and then I guess the final boss afterwards. And then
You'll
we
probably spend more time on those two bosses than you have done over the course of the entire game. I'll say that now.
I died 20 times fighting Demon of Hatred. I'm not going back to him next week or this Monday. I'm going straight to the main boss. He's like the Dark Eater of this game. We did an actual
absolutely.
finished game. But off stream, playing. I think I'm just playing a lot more. I actually started playing Apex again on console. I seem to do better on console.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's controller. But I want to get back to it on PC because again, I need to get more and more comfortable playing on keyboard and mouse because I do want to try and improve on that. So I'll be bouncing back and forth between those two platforms, which is probably not the best thing to do, but whatever.
It is what it is. So, and where can people find you, Femi?
Yes, so Twitch, the TV /A_R_O. I stream Monday to Saturdays. Sundays I'm taking a break. And also you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at A_R_O2NG. I post content on my Instagram and I randomly tweet stuff on Twitter. So hit me up. And for you, Sir Scott, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I dabble a lot. So what have I been playing? What I've recently that's right. I've recently finished Observation on PC. I streamed. It was a shorter game than I expected. I did have a bit of problems with it because there were some game breaking bugs which I overcome. But oh my god, this game. So I'll just quickly give you an idea of what it is. You play as an AI, and your job is to assist this astronaut in what's happened. You don't know what's happened. You were meant to be orbiting Earth, and we all woke up, and all of a sudden, orbiting Saturn. So
it's far away.
you pretty much you control the cameras. You have this little sphere, and it's a lot of mini puzzles. A lot of puzzles you'll only do once. And I was lucky enough to have a couple of people in my chat help me work it out with me. They have never done it before, and we're just figuring it out together. And that made that experience for me. And
wow.
I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people because these puzzles, they are so fucking difficult. Like I even amazed myself that I managed to figure some of out because they are so clever, very mechanics based. But you go outside of the station and you can explore space. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. So, finished that in 2 sittings, 3
you
hours,
finished
4 hours. Yeah, finished it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't intend to finish it. It got to a point where there's this story element that happened. I was like, I genuinely have no idea what this means, where it even goes from here.
Yeah.
And it just sort of like, I'll give it another half hour. And then I gave it another half hour.
Yeah.
And I gave it another hour. And the next thing I know, it's like, it's almost midnight and I need to get to bed. But I managed to finish it. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. Watching. I've just started Dark on Netflix.
Oh.
So
I've heard of that.
this is a German film, so it's dubbed in English. I switch between dubbed and subbed, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm, watching or playing something at the same time or whatever. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I've been doing, really.
You haven't been streaming that much because of the internet.
My internet's my internet's back up. It's better than it was. I don't know what I'll be streaming next week.
A Way Out?
I've just bought Borderlands. That's right. I forgot about that. So on Monday we are streaming A Way Out. Me and Nuns and Moses.
Exciting.
On my streams, I'm thinking I might stream Titanfall 2 campaign. I've just bought that in the sale. That might be a two stream kind of campaign, depending on how good I am. That's it. But yeah, thanks for reminding me, Nuns. I completely forgot about A Way Out. I am looking forward to that.
So where could
just
you... No, go on.
Yeah, no. You can find me twitch.tv/NeonDemon4. Twitter, I tweet a fair bit, as Nuns and Arrow can attest to. So you can find me at neon_demon4.
Awesome.
And I stream most weekdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Awesome.
Right. Okay then. So you can also follow this channel on Twitter. This is where we pretty much we're getting more and more active there as the weeks go by. Pretty much highlighting our own tweets using that channel and announcing when we go live. So feel free to follow us there. You can also follow our Discord channel. I've got the just to my left. So yeah, feel free to join. So this is Above the Fold, episode 10. I'm Scott. We've got Femi. We've got Adam, and we'll hope to see you next week.
Goodbye.
Later.